All right, Joburg, this one's really for you. Rand Water's scheduled maintenance going to be completed in just a few hours. To remind you, getting underway 7 p.m. yesterday, expected to come to an end at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Friday morning, it should all be done and dusted. Well, at least that's the hope. Several areas in Gauteng starting to have their taps running dry. So at the same time, Rand Water cautioning it could take a few days before reservoirs are fully restored. So let's just get a sense of where we are this evening. Are we on track? Rand Water spokesperson Makenosi Maroo making time for me this evening. Makenosi, hello. I know you're very, very busy at the moment dealing with all kinds of queries. Just help me, where are we timeline-wise? 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, are we still on track?
Good evening, Gareth, and good evening to your viewers. Yes, we are still on track. We have completed work at the Swartkoppes pumping station, at the Vereeniging and Suikerbosch water treatment plants. So we just left with less than 12 hours, and the team is really working diligently to ensure that we meet the deadline.
I mean, it's good news as well, because I think what people are beginning to realize, Makenosi, is the faster you get this done, then there's more water in all of our reservoirs, which means our taps will be dry for less time as well. So it's good news down the system, isn't it?
That is good news. We also want to announce that we will be commissioning at 1900 hours. We'll be commissioning the first 600 megalitres at the eNCA pumping station. This is a significant milestone for us. I mean, if we are able to pump 50% of its full capacity, we are very pleased, and the rest of it will be commissioned tomorrow at 5 a.m.
So you're saying it's 7 p.m. tonight, as in 35 minutes from now, at eNCA, 600 megalitres could start flowing back into the system. Did I understand you right?
No, it's just filling up the pumping station, not really water coming out of the taps. So
well, that's okay. It's still good news, though. It's still very good news.
It's still good news, yes.
I'm getting a sense you're actually slightly ahead of schedule.
Yes, we are. We're actually 10 hours ahead of schedule. So we are pleased with what we've done so far.
And I think the residents of Joburg are going to be very grateful. Can we just kick the tin a little bit further down the road? So the maintenance done. It seems like it's ahead of schedule for the moment. Tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., it should be done. I feel like you and I are going to be talking tomorrow morning again, by the way. But just explain to residents so you don't start getting very angry tweets and very angry phone calls. The repair is done. After that, you need to try and get the system filled up again. This is where the concern is about how long that takes. Just explain that to me again for anyone who wasn't watching yesterday.
All right. As we have seen the report, some of the reservoirs are running dry. In some areas, they are completely dry. So most especially in the high-lying areas. So the system will need time to recover. So we have to fill up different reservoirs to ensure that people do get water. So as I'm indicating, high-lying areas will take a couple of days, but eventually people will get water, and municipalities are dispersing water tankers.
And of course, I have to ask the question. So this major repair has been done now. The interviews I've done with experts and Rand Water is this was a major repair. When do we in Johannesburg have to do this again?
Look, we have a maintenance strategy as Rand Water. So this is the beginning of the financial year. For this financial year, this is the first major project that we're doing. So we have budgeted over 5 billion just for maintenance for this for the next 5 years. So this is the beginning of it. We are going to see more. And as I've been saying, it's an inconvenience for a few days, but we're all going to be benefiting from this project.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's disagreeing. Rather prevention than cure. Rather get it done now before one of these big pipes burst in years to come. Just some practical advice, Makenosi, before I say goodbye to you. So we've been telling everyone in Johannesburg that they need to turn off their geysers. If they're not having water coming out of their taps, they need to turn off their geysers. You're going to blow the elements in your geyser. Believe me, I've been there. Don't do it. But what needs to happen now when it comes to people opening up their taps? What are we looking for? Can we open taps, leave them open so air bubbles can come out? I'm sure you know what social media is like. Everyone's got a theory. What's the right procedure for us here?
For now, don't leave your tap open, because obviously if water comes back in the middle of the night, you might be flooded. So we're advising, please close your taps once water has come back. You can always test and see if water is back. But what we do as Rand Water, if there is airlock, means if there are bubbles in the system, we are able to manage and work out the airlocks. So there will be no need for people to test and see if there are airlocks. We are handling the airlocks from Rand Water's side.
All right, safety, of course, is going to be key as well. Do we need to let the water run for a couple of minutes before we start drinking it? Or the moment we start getting some water pressure back in our taps in Joburg, it's safe to drink, safe to make some coffee, safe to give to our pets? Talk to me about safety.
We're very confident with the water that we supply. We supply high quality drinking water. So as soon as water is back, it will be high quality water ready to be used for drinking and other domestic purposes.
All right, so ahead of schedule is maintenance. Let me get a date from you then. Let me get a timeline for the sake of residents. What's the absolute latest, the very last reservoir in the system, the very last area in the system? How long will that take for the system to come back to 100%? What's worst case scenario here after the repairs?
All right. We're talking about 14 days. I know it feels like it's a long time, but we're not saying people will not have water for 14 days. We're saying it will take us full 14 days to fill up the reservoirs, different reservoirs, so for the system to fully recover.
I think kudos and credit where credit is due as far as Rand Water is concerned. I think everyone was expecting, not everyone, some people, some critics suspecting this was going to be messy. It seems like it's going quite well. Rand Water spokesperson Makenosi Maroo joining us this evening as well. So it looks like slightly ahead of schedule. So tomorrow morning, when we're on the South African morning, we're going to have another update. 5 a.m. tomorrow, Friday morning, the repairs should be done. In fact, they're actually a little bit ahead of time. It doesn't mean you're going to get water immediately. It just means the repairs are almost there. Let's be fair, it's gone quite smoothly, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. Any issues tomorrow, not tonight, you're not going to get water tonight. Any issues tomorrow, you can tweet us at eNCA, my Twitter handle at Gareth Edwards SA. Let me know, we can pass it on to the team and all that good fun, and we can follow up for you.